What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about the defensive side of the ball. A lot of you guys were waiting for me to go ahead and pick up on that defensive side of the ball after I showed you guys the way that I consider the way to build the best offensive line. A lot of you guys have been getting a lot of success with that, and now you want to know specifically what goes on the defensive side of the ball. Now remember, I periodically drop these videos. If you go back to the beginning of Madden 20, I was always showing you guys different things, you know, like the Linval Joseph with the strength, certain people in certain positions, and making you guys understand that playing people out of position in Madden 20 actually gives you a penalty. Okay, so that's a very, very important thing, and it's very, very funny that as we're starting the video, I believe that that's Brian Burns that just sold. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to be explaining to you guys why I sold Brian Burns and why you don't need that guy on your team for it to be successful. Now, he is a golden ticket. I know a lot of you guys enjoy the fact that there are a lot of golden tickets available, and people think that these golden tickets are the best cards, but in all actuality, they are not. These are not the best cards that are available. In certain cases, there are other people at these positions that play better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys exactly what's going on. So why would I do that? Does that mean that I'm going to play Kevin Green? What's going on with that situation? No, Kevin Green is not playing, but Lawrence Taylor and Judaevian Clowney, in my opinion, are the better outside rushers. Now, when we're talking outside rushers, a lot of you guys are like, yeah, but when you look at Brian Burns, he's 97 speed with the chems and John Madden coach and all that stuff. You put abilities on him. Yes, that's all fine and well. But when you look at it specifically at the attributes that these players have, Lawrence Taylor and Judaevian Clowney are better. They're just better players. Okay, now the thing about Lawrence Taylor that some of you guys may have issues with, okay, Gmi, he's 6'3", Judaevian Clowney 6'5", Brian Burns 6'5", the height situation. Let me just explain something to you about EA Sports and Lawrence Taylor. They love him. What Madden was that? You guys, what Madden was that when he had the loop blitz out of the 3-3-5, the nickel 3? What is it? Was it nickel 3-3-5 odd? When he was just, people put him in as the loop blitzer. He just came in no matter what. People love them. Like, they love Lawrence Taylor. They love Deion Sanders. That's why Deion Sanders gets off every block. It doesn't matter what's going on. He just sheds everything. Certain players are going to play well no matter what. Now, these two guys are probably going to be your best outside rushers, because it doesn't matter what else they do. If they drop any other promos, whatever, these guys are geared up to be the better players. Now, you might look at it and say, you know what? Brian Burns is faster. Okay, Gmi, why wouldn't you just stay with him because of the speed off the edge? Wouldn't that make more sense that he's, getting back there faster? No, it doesn't. Because remember, the 99 XL, it's going to apply to both of these guys, Judaevian Clowney, and it's going to apply to Lawrence Taylor. But not only that, these two gentlemen get, edge threat elite. They get all that stuff. Finesse specialist is one of the only other things that Brian Burns got. So, obviously he gets run stopper and stuff like that, but I'm talking about specific pass rushing chems. So now, when you look at the fact that the only thing that Judaevian Clowney is lacking is finesse move, that power move and block shed, and then I'm going to go to his card so you guys can see the upgraded, like how you can see like the, the chemmed up blue levels. You'll be able to understand exactly what I'm doing. So now, pay attention to the way that he's not really like explosive with any major thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see his tackles in 96, play rec 95, block shot 97, power move is in green, finesse move is 99, 96 speed, 99 XL. Now let's go to Judaevian Clowney, and then you're gonna see the completely similar thing with the exception of the finesse moves. All right, they're pretty much the same exact card. Now remember, I told you guys this before. The only reason I was trying Brian Burns out was to try to get an idea, like, what's really going on? What's up with all this, bro? You guys seem to like him a lot. Let's see what's happening. Notice the key things: 96 speed, 99 XL. You guys have seen my videos. You guys have seen the way that these dudes scream like maniacs. It's like it's a pork chop on the back of the quarterback's butt cheeks, bro. The quarterback cannot go anywhere with these two guys off the edge. Now, you will have situations where, guys run the ball, do stuff like that. And I know you guys are going to be asking about, yeah, what about the Warren Sapp? What's going on with him? I'm going to explain that to you in a second on how you can counteract a lot of the things that go on with that card. So as we look at this right here, I know you guys noticed the strength factor. The strength factor is something that we don't need to actually pay attention to simply because we need the sprinter on this guy, okay? The sprinter is more key because getting him to the 99 XL, I believe that has a lot to do with the way that these guys play. because I couldn't get Brian Burns up to that, and he would screen, but it wasn't the same thing once they were able to get off the first block. All right, so that's the one thing that you'll look at Judaevian Clowney and you'll say, you know what, that dude, I don't know about that. But then we go back to the beginning of the year where strength was a factor with Linval Joseph, and then what happened? All of a sudden, it didn't matter. The dude was getting pancaked like he was at IHOP. So those are the things that you guys need to understand. The primary part of your defense is the outside guys. All right. Now, you can play with SAP with abilities and one outside guy, or you can go with both outside guys. Okay, whichever way you're comfortable with. Now, my defense is a 3-4. We were lobbing some 4-3s, but I think I'm going to stick with the 3-4 because it's just better. What happens is this, right? Warren Sapp, when he's in the middle, he's going to get immediate penetration. He's going to do whatever he wants. You guys all know that when he has abilities on him, you pretty much can't block the guy. But he's very, very slow. And for the most part, a lot of the players that you're going to be playing against, they're going to have Lamar Jacksons, Michael Vicks, you know, those type of players. So he'll run straight in, throw the center out the way, and then the quarterback would elude him, right? So for me, I felt that that was a waste of an ability. Yes, he's OP, and yes, he helps everybody else to, you know, penetrate in the middle. But I noticed that on a regular basis, he would immediately get off the center and then just not be able to catch the, you know, a rolling out quarterback. Now, with the run stopper capability, I'm going to go over here because we have to continually, I'm trying to make sure you guys get this in your head. I'm going to stress this to you again. Your front seven is very, very important. So look, when you look at Lawrence Taylor, edge threat, pass rush, run stopper, okay? We're going to go ahead and take a look at Judaevian Clowney. He should have the same things going on. Now, with Warren Sapp, he gets that immediate pressure, but then he just gets outrun by whoever's there. All right, you're not going to outrun Lawrence Taylor as long as he's not chipped, you know, at the point of attack. So just keep that in mind as well. If you contain, in certain cases when you contain, you may notice that your opponent just stands there after he hikes the ball, and then your contain runs into the running back and he flips him over. All right, so you don't necessarily have to contain as much when you have an outside player with abilities. Just so you guys understand that. All right, now let's go ahead and look at we'll take a look at the other abilities with Judaevian Clowney, making sure that he has all the similar things as well. We'll go over here. So he has the same thing: edge threat, run stopper, pass rush, and enforcer. So those are very, very important. Now, having all of them together like that, it makes it so that if the running, you're going to be able to force a lot more fumbles than not by having the enforcer. I know a lot of you guys are like, yeah, you know, we get big hits regardless. You're not going to let the quarterback fumble off of an enforcer hit stick because the game doesn't allow it. But running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, all that stuff, they'll get animations that'll knock their blocks off, especially on like those screen plays with RPOs. If you put them in like a, you know, like a flat, cloud flat, and they float over there, they'll definitely blast these dudes into another dimension. All right. Now, after you figure out that the outside rushers are your main guys, you can remember this. If you run a 3-4, you don't necessarily have to keep them on the outside all the time. You could put them in the middle, you know, as a middle linebacker. You could play around with it. But for me, it's the best case scenario to have them on the outside because you limit your opponent. He can't run either way. You see what I'm saying? Because you have run stoppers on both sides. So they have to do a lot of things to be able to get off of that. Primarily, probably run on aggressive and get away with it. But these guys on the outside are going to minimize people trying to run the ball either way. So that's the win and why I kind of went away from Warren Sapp and just said, you know what? I can't, because I literally played a guy during this past weekend league that was flipping his run to the side that did not have the run stopper. So that's a huge factor in it. So I don't want you guys to waste any more time. I'm going to suggest that you make sure you have run stoppers on both sides, so that way you just eliminate it, and then you put the best D tackle in the middle, which is still going to be Warren Sapp. Now, John Henderson is even more, like the dude, bro, I don't know what he's doing. Like the dude just, he's pretty much jogging and never gets to where he's going. Like John Henderson, like I don't know what he's doing. But would he be good, like in, you know, goal line defenses, trying to stop the run in critical situations? Yes and no. Because in certain cases, if they come out with fullback dive on aggressive, yo, bro, RIP to your butt cheeks, like it's done. It doesn't really matter. You're finished if they go out there and do that. But can you run commit with him and see, you know, he might get, you know, to get in there and get somebody? Probably. But I still think that Warren Sapp, he has the right speed, he has the right acceleration, he is the primary D tackle. But for those reasons, the reasons that I just suggested, I would love for you guys to keep, even if you don't want Lawrence Taylor and Judaevian Clowney, make sure that the players that you get can get edge threat elite, pass rush elite, and run stopper. And make sure run stopper is one of those, chems or abilities that they have on them, because it just eliminates them. If they don't know how to run the ball, it kind of takes away from your opponent running the ball. If they know how to run the ball and they can run up the middle and get lucky, that's different. Near close flex, things like that. You can adjust the defense to figure that out. But for the most part, it makes it more difficult. Not saying that you can't do it, but it's more difficult, and they have to think now if they want to keep running the ball every play, especially when you have enforcer on these guys. All right, that's the front seven. The front four, or however you want to call it, with the the linemen, because I'm going with 3-4, but we can't complete the 7 without obviously the middle linebackers, right? So Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett are going to stay at the ends. We're going to have Lawrence Taylor, Judaevian Clowney on the outsides, Warren Sapp in the middle. Now for our 2 middle linebackers that make up the complete front 7, I love me some Ryan Shazier. As a matter of fact, though, I think I'm gonna switch these guys. I liked having Patrick Willis coming in on special teams, but is he really causing me fumbles? And plus, with certain 3-4s that I have running, he's not the right guy that's on the side there. Like when dudes come out, they want to run like trips. He's not usually the guy. Like, you need Ryan Shazier there for anytime you want to zone a middle linebacker. He's your guy. 94 zone. He won't pick it, but he'll be around the area. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll make sure he's around the area to to do stuff. That's a very, very key factor. All right. So usually when I set the defense up, he's not usually right there, but actually I'm going to leave him right there because he actually sets up perfectly for the 3-4 bear, and he sits where I need him to be. So I'm going to leave him right there, and I'll just manually do it for the 3-4 odd. 3-4 bear, Patrick Willis is right exactly where he needs to be, and that works out. Now these 2 guys are probably the best middle linebackers in my opinion in the game, because they actually make plays on a regular basis. I don't know about that whole Ray Lewis thing. I don't think he's that guy. Navarro Bowman, I don't know about this guy. To be honest, he's just like a little bit more of a nerf Patrick Willis, and he's just out there. And we all love that 49er team that had both of them out there doing whatever they wanted, but he's not typically a guy that I would say start. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just there because I wanted to see how good he was. And in all honesty, Patrick Willis and Ryan Shazier makes more plays, even though he comes out with the better block shed as opposed to Ryan Shazier with the 96 to 85. Ryan Shazier still just makes major plays. He just does whatever he wants. So I would recommend those 2 guys to make up your front 7. Now, when you go to the corners, Jaylen Ramsey, in my opinion, he is the better. Afterwards, after you get away from Night Train Lane, because Night Train Lane, in my opinion, is a very, very unique corner in this game. I love him. The dude just does whatever he wants. After him, I gotta go Jaylen Ramsey. Okay, relatively cheap for a long time. I think he went back up to the 800K range. His press is unbelievable. Like, he just plays. He's gonna get mossed in certain situations because that's just the way the game is. But he's a very, very good card. They would have made him out of this world if they gave him Enforcer. And that's probably why they didn't give it to him, because he is outrageous. So he and Night Train should be your corners. And remember, I'm going based on the 3-4. If you guys are running nickel, you're running 1-4-6, that's why I have Deion Sanders there just in case. But I don't really run those formations. So, for me, it doesn't apply. But Jaylen Ramsey would probably be one of those cards that you should have with Night Train Lane on the outsides. Because that press and that speed, it's ridiculous. And Byron Jones, that guy, I would have paid EA for them to take him away. That dude sucks. Deion Sanders being one of the corners that you use like in a 3-4, not a 3-4, a nickel, dime 1-4-6. I like him because of his speed. You could obviously, I have Ronnie Lott also over there. He has a secondary position as a corner. He's just chilling right there. If you guys are running it off the edge, you can have one guy that's fast with hit power and one guy that's just fast and EA loves him in Deion Sanders. If you run that dime 1-4-6 and stuff like that, because I did experiment with it, and Deion just screams no matter what. And it's a lot of 4-man blitzes out of the dime 1-4-6. He just comes right in on 4-man blitzes. It's wild. So like I said, those 2 guys would be fine to kind of make up the dime 1-4-6. But primarily for 3-4, that's what I stay in. Night Train Lane, Jaylen Ramsey are good. If I run nickel, Deion Sanders is my corner, the slot corner right there. And then as far as safety right now, My favorite golden ticket, Taylor Mays, he has to be there. And then we have Calvin Johnson, who I user. Remember, the reason that we don't have Taylor Mays activated with abilities is because he plays the same way with or without abilities. Calvin Johnson is not as aggressive and he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, but he's an unbelievable user because he's so big and he's able to make a lot of different plays that'll definitely benefit your team. So as far as Calvin goes, I would recommend him as a user only. When the GOAT Sean Taylor is released, I don't know what else is going to happen to this guy. Will he stay? He probably could. I'm not going to say we're just going to get rid of the guy. It's a chance. Like, we might keep him, bro. But again, I'm not sure at this point, but I'm telling you right now, if you do decide to keep it, you need to make sure that he's the guy that has the abilities because he doesn't play the same without them. All right, so let's go take a look at his abilities real quick, what we have on him, so you guys can have that insight. And that's pretty much what your defensive prowess, that's what it's all about. And then we could also go check out the sub linebacker position, because we may be able to put one of them in as a sub linebacker and be able to get everybody out there on the play. So pick artist, just make sure that you catch anything that's, anything that's in the area, he's going to catch it. Lurker is a must. Enforcer, obviously. An acrobat, you want to dive around. You want to be able to get those low balls. They won't activate unless you have that. We tried to play without it, and it was a nightmare. But pick artist is definitely a key thing, especially when you play guys like me that want to moss you all over the place. It definitely helps with the interceptions. All right, so that's everything there. Now, some of you guys were saying, yeah, with the specialist, you could always put the other players in as a sub linebacker. So right now we have Patrick Willis there. You can note that in certain formations, you can put these guys in. Like Taylor Mays, it looks like only strong safeties. Obviously, you can't put a free safety there. So we could put Taylor Mays there, okay, and see how that works once Sean Taylor is released. We could do that, and then just have everybody out there running amok. All right, that's something that we could do. All right, if it's necessary. Other than that, I think we're going to be good for probably rate selling Calvin and seeing how it goes from there. But that's just something that I wanted to point out because some of you guys were asking about that, and it is a possibility that we could do that so that we don't get rid of the GOAT Taylor Mays at least too fast. You know what I'm saying? We'll just have him there, and he'll be a guy that we can utilize. All right, so that's how you're going to build your defense. I'm going to guarantee you guys you're going to see a lot more turnovers. You're going to see a lot more stops with the way that this defense is. So now you see my personnel, now you see the abilities, now watch some of the gameplay videos and see the way I set them up, and you're going to be golden. You're going to be good, getting those weekend league wins up. You're going to be doing whatever you want because that's what I want for you, but you got to want it for yourself. That's everything I got for you guys right now. If you want more of these type of videos, feel free to go ahead and type the number 9 in the comment section, and I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. Continue to be safe. One love, y'all.